Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Rwagnation League Grand Prix here in Russia. It's the F2 races that we always kick off with first when we get to the Rwagnation League on a Saturday evening. I'm Ben Raggan McConnell, and joining me is the incredibly talented, only just discovered it, Horn Badger. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. Excited to get going here for these F2 cars. How's things?
All good indeed. But I need you to tell me who you're going to go with for the hot lap of the qualifying here. Go on, give me a name and we'll watch him.
I think probably best to jump on with Piloto. He's usually right up there, though he's down at the back right now.
If you can actually get him. There we go. He is actually P2 now. After turn 2, he's managed to get himself up there alongside Bottas gang. These are the names you usually see at the front. Aviator joining him as well. And actually Tiger Racing currently, he was P4 just for a split second. He's only P5 now. Oh, the bit of a wobble there from Piloto. He's doing well in these F2. I don't know how he's so gifted with these cars. I honestly find it so difficult to maneuver them, but he makes it look really easy.
Yeah, him and Bottas gang, both they just seem to have a complete handle on these cars. They have no issues whatsoever when it comes to taking these round whatever track they come across.
Now, I've just been told my mic was playing up, but I should hopefully fix that now. Bottas gang retires, so he's now not going to be in the running for pole position. It is going to be now Piloto who's going to be taking it if he can keep this clean throughout. This is a circuit where penalties, track corner cutting, just in general invalidations of hot laps, which may come into effect when it comes to the F1 cars as well, is very easy to do. So expect to see a few people get disqualified at the end of qualifying, potentially. Maybe we'll see Piloto just carry this through.
Yeah, I mean, Aviator's right on the back of him. There's not too much time between the two of them, but as we said earlier, Piloto is just something else when it comes to these cars.
Well, only 2 corners left to go then. Make sure you cut that nice one, that second to last just nicely, and the final one as well. Don't cut it too hard. There is a ball out there that does help you dictate where it's going to be. He does go P1 by 8/10 between him and Aviator in P2. A 1:45.1 is a very quick time in these F2 cars.
Yep, absolutely. He's thrown down the gauntlet, and to be honest, I don't think anyone will be able to catch him in the race either. But there's such a long straight down to turn 2, lots of slipstream, so you could be seeing someone making a dive up the inside.
I don't think we might be. I think we definitely will be when it comes into it. But this is the rundown at the end of the qualifying. So Piloto gets the 4 points to kickstart his weekend, with Aviator in 2nd, Falsetti in 3rd, Chenjay in 4th, Marquez 5th, Landos Milman in 6th with Jeb in 7th, Hardy in 8th place, Tiger Race in 9th with TNMO rounding out the top 10. Tiger Jr. is best of the rest with Lapis in 12th, and then we have a load of other people who didn't actually get to set a time on because they either got disqualified or retired. That's Burrito, Bottas, Roshko, and newcomer Monkey Swinger. Have you got a 1, 2, 3 you want to back for the race?
For the race, I think the top 2 will probably stay the same. It will be Piloto and Aviator. For that 3rd spot, not too sure who will take that. You know, we've got a lot of fast guys out there. Landos Milkman could come through and seal that 3rd spot as well, to be honest. So, Chenjay, he could certainly do it. So, wait to see, I suppose. So,
Bottas gang did get disqualified in his qualifying, which means he's going to start right at the back. However, he is one of the fastest guys on the circuit when it comes to F2 cars. So I do fully expect that he will make his way right back up towards the front of the grid at some point, providing he can keep himself out of trouble. That is something that he has struggled in when it comes to these F2 cars. He just cannot seem to keep himself out of the trouble. And ends up getting more damage to hang it through. So we are seeing the tyre strategies being quite unique among some of these drivers here. We've got 4 drivers that have decided that medium tyres are the tyres to go on. That everyone else has gone for the super softs, which on this circuit I don't think you can actually take to the end here. They may really struggle. I've not seen any punctures in these F2 cars, but in terms of pace, they will just suddenly drop off. So watch out for Aviator. Currently, the guy in P2 with medium tyres could very easily stick with Piloto later on in this race and potentially even overtake him later on.
Yeah, absolutely. 7 laps is a long way to go around this circuit. It's a very long track, so yeah, those tyres will definitely be at their end of life come the final couple of laps.
Now, my top 3, I don't know. Piloto, yes, somebody you can rely on. Once he's at the front, he's kind of like Vettel. When he's at the front, he'll keep it and just maintain that throughout the entire race. So I do think Piloto will still take the win. Aviator's had a few mares, to be honest, when it's come to his race pace. Falsetti, I think, has got the potential, just needs to unlock it and actually display that on the day. So potentially a podium sitter, maybe. Chenjay, he's the guy I think will be in that podium. I think it's going to be Piloto, Chenjay. I'm going to then back Falsetti for P3.
Yeah, I've not actually seen Falsetti drive the F2s, so I'm not too sure how he does in these cars, but he's certainly he's a fast boy when it comes to the F1 cars.
Especially in Monaco. That guy just chucks in ridiculous lap times at Monaco. I don't know how he does it, but he does. This is another circuit that he's actually pretty decent at when he puts his mind to it. It kind of sounds like a high school report, doesn't it? When he sits down and gets on task, he's actually pretty good. But you know, I want to see him do well today. I really, really do. It'd be the first time I've seen him driving the F2 cars, I think, in a very long time, actually. And to see him come back and smash it would be tremendous.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we said, that long run down to turn 2, that's plenty of opportunity for him to make a move. So he might even be leading through the first lap.
Well, yeah, exactly. This is one of those few circuits that exists where the run in towards turn 1 is the worst place to be, is P1. You do not want to be there in this example, except for the fact you get the 4 points. That obviously is the kicker that Piloto will have going into this race. The 4-point kickoff will mean that he can actually start this weekend in such a strong fashion, and if he can control that as well and actually get the fastest lap to go with it in this race, that's an easy 6 points, you know. But lights are on then. We're about to get underway with the F2 race, and it's go time. A bit delayed there. The lights actually went out quite early. But they didn't actually get away quite nicely. There is actually Chenjay, who's already up to P3. Dave has fallen down to P5. Mr. Falsetti, they are going 3 wide in towards turn 1, and maybe even 4 wide. This is getting very aggressive towards it. There's going to be a little bit of wings getting knocked here. I think might even see some damage. Oh, big sandwich car. But still, miraculously, there's no damage.
Roscoe's spun off at the back. He's yeah, he's retired there. I think he's got stuck in the rundown.
Oh no, Lapis and Tiger Jr. have come together. Lapis just came across trying to get out of the way, and Tiger Jr. unfortunately gets collected into it, and that is severe damage and a penalty for Lapis. Falsetti falls to P11.
Yeah, it's the unfortunate rundown with turn 1. That's everyone behind you is always going faster because of that slipstream.
There is a bit of moments going on around the P6 territory. Monkey Swinger, oh, TNMO goes into Marquez and gets rotated for his troubles. He's just fallen to P9 and almost gets in the way of Bottas gang. Falsetti's through as well, so he's recovered a singular place. Piloto, Aviator, Landos is where we sit 1, 2, and 3. What happened to Chenjay?
That gap that Piloto's pulled out. Yeah, it must have had some contact, I think, but that gap that Piloto's pulled out is over 2 seconds already, and they've not even finished lap 1.
Monkey Swinger and Marquez having a little bit of a battle coming into the awkward chicane at the end of the isn't straight. Marquez is still P5, but Monkey Swinger's looking for the inside line. If he can grab it, he could snatch that position away, but a little bit too eager on the accelerator means his back end will step out, and that will mean Marquez will hold P5 for now.
Yep, and Jeb's just on the back of his teammate as well, teammate Hardy, so a bit of a train going there, but it looks like Piloto has just pulled out such an enormous gap that no one should be able to catch him for the rest of this race, I don't think.
Hardy's had a bit of a mare going through the final corner. Jeb should be able to get a run on his teammate here. They are going to be scrapping side by side throughout. I don't suspect they'll be like that when we get to turn 2, as Jeb looks like he's already got the position locked in. But keep an eye on Bottas gang though. He's in this. He's actually coming alongside Hardy as well into the braking zone. Is he going to send one on the inside of Jeb? He's looking for it. He can't quite get it. Hardy's ran very wide there. Used the runoff curve quite a lot, and that's allowed him to stay within this battle. He's still there on the inside. He's just appeared now, as you can see. Back into P8, but he's ran deep again in towards turn 5. Here comes Bottas gang straight back through, and also watch out for Dave Falsetti Tate coming up for the back of this fight as well. He could easily slip into P9. Remember, the top 8 get flipped and reversed as we go in towards the sprint race after this race, and Hardy is the one who loses out. He will be P9 for now.
Yep, and it's looking like I don't know if my gaps I'm not updating correctly, but yeah, some of the times unfortunately are not updating correctly, but it looks like Landos and Aviator, they've been, tailing each other. Landos could get the DRS come next lap if he just stays within this zone and potentially get a move down to the end of the turn 2.
There's also still a moment as Fossetti and Hardy swap places. The timing should update when we get to lap 3, and at the start of it is when everybody's lap time should start to correct themselves. Hardy F1's still here with Fossetti, breaking a very reasonable time. Almost clipped into the back of Dave's car there, but no damage. Either car, nobody is affected. They will stay. Bottas gang P7, Jeb P8, although that's about to change as Dave's going down the inside line. It's going to be a tight run through. I think he's going to hold that down. Yes, he is. Dave up to P8 now, and the two Univirtuosa teams are actually going to be fighting right the way through the whole home straight, I think.
Yep, and it's looking like Marquez might get a run on Tiger Racing here. He's managed to stay within the zone, and he was catching up to back on, but Joe's just pulled out a little bit extra on that final turn. But right now, Marquez will have the slipstream coming all the way down to turn 2, but he's just too far back. He wouldn't be able to make a move this turn, I don't think.
But he can use this to help work towards the back of Joe's car as we get towards the isn't straight. Opportunity for DRS overtake. Oh, it's taken that quite wide through there. Shows a little bit of uncomfortable situations here for Marquez.
Yeah, he did get a penalty as well just on that last lap, so I'm not sure. It doesn't look like he's got any damage, but yeah, maybe he's just struggling with those tyres already, which would be a bit worrying.
5.6, almost 5.7 second gap between Piloto and Aviator. Safe to say, as it stands, Piloto is going to be taking this win, it looks like. However, remember, they are on super soft tyres. Aviator's on those mediums, which should hopefully help him towards the end of this race recover a bit of gap. But 6.3 might be just a bit too much for him to close back in on. We'll have to wait and see in a couple of laps' time.
Yep, those tyres would have to completely fall off the cliff and lose all pace for that gap to shrink enough for Aviator to take the win. But again, this is racing, anything can happen.
And anything indeed will happen, as Joe has made a little bit of a mistake there coming through the chicane. Also, Monkey Swing is looking for the inside of Marquez. It's an opportunity for him to potentially get 2, but again, same situation. Just gets a little bit too lively on the accelerator, goes into the side of Marquez. There was a moment of instability from the both of them, but look at the fight now. Bottas gang right here as well, another touch. And he's through P5. Here comes Bottas gang on the inside of Marquez as well. This is again, second to last corner. Probably got a warning there, but he won't have got an illegal overtake, sorry. Now he's ready to sling it. He's ready to go for it. He's already passed Marquez, it looks like. Or is he actually? Marquez has seemed to have just suddenly matched pace.
Yep, if Marquez is able to... Oh, contact! It doesn't look like he's actually had any... No, I think he's lost an end plate there for that. Yep, yeah. Unfortunately for Bottas gang, that's letting Dave Fossetti come through.
There's a little bit of a touch there between him and Marquez that just pinballed him off towards the wall, and as a result now any right-hand turn that requires aero will become a problem for him. You can see the gap already starting to form between them as Fossetti's in a similar boat. Tries to go down the inside of Marquez. He's really fighting the rear of that car, and Bottas gang's coming in for this as well. Look at that, he's up now. Back into P7, ready to fire one on Marquez again as soon as an opportunity arises. And we have got Tiger Jr. who's just made a mistake a bit further down the field. Brito Bandito will pass him as a result. The gap now between P4 P5 is very short indeed. There's an opportunity for Monkey Swinger to pass on Tiger Racing when we get to this DRS straight.
Yep, absolutely, and Joe unfortunately doesn't have the access to the DRS, so he could end up being a sitting duck if he doesn't get all the turns correctly. Any small mistake and Monkey Swinger is going to take him.
Well, Bottas gang is going to pass Marquez here, DRS straight past him with no issues. Tiger Jr. getting disqualified for facing the wrong direction, or driving in the wrong way, sorry, and that's caused him to fall out of this race. Bottas gang closing in now a little bit, despite the wing damage to the back of this battle for P4. The battle for P3 is actually not that far up the field, and again, remember, if these tyres do drop off, these super soft tyres, then the medium runners should suddenly come to life. Bottas gang is one of them. Tiger Racing is the other, with Aviator in P2 as well in the same strategy. Fossetti makes one down the inside of Marquez and is now joining his teammate for a scrap for P4.
Yep, and it looks like Tiger Jr., I think he just spun out on turn 3, and I think he probably tried to rotate his car back towards the correct direction and just travelled too much distance to get disqualified. Unfortunate for him, but this game doesn't really allow you to go backwards too often, even if it is to just try and spin the car back to face the correct direction.
Oh, that was an awkward situation there for Joe. He just took a defensive route through turn 2-3, and as a result, that did cause him a lot of momentum going out of it, and the gap between him and Monkey Swinger suddenly jumped to 8 tenths. Dave Fossetti, who is in P6 now, goes past his teammate Botasgang, but he did get himself a penalty earlier through turn 2-3, and now you can see Botasgang and Forseti having a little bit of scrap coming into it. They're not going to be going for any team orders here. Dave has got the better tyres, and that's what's allowed him to maintain P6 for now, but they're still at it. This isn't changing. Marquez is here as well to make things even more entertaining, and I think we're going to be staying as is for now until the next DRS zone.
Yep, and the fact that Botasgang's able to fight as well as he's doing with damage on that wing as well is incredible.
Tiger Racing hunting down Monkey Swinger. As before, 7/10 is the gap. Forseti's in the exact same position. He's 7/10 back with Botasgang, his teammate, hunting him down. But Chenjay and Jeb, here's going to be a side-by-side battle coming into it. This is going to be a very awkward braking zone if they decide to stick it all the way through. And I think Chenjay's already got the move done by now, so he's just going to manipulate this to his advantage. Or is he? Because he runs very deep.
Yep, that's allowed Jeb to get slipped back on through, and he just needs to maintain it now. He's got... he'll have an awkward run down to turn 2 if Chenjay can stay close to them, which it looks like he is. He's managed to regain control of that car. But for now, Jeb maintains P9.
Forseti, he's actually closed in massively onto the back of Tiger Racing, and the gap between Tiger Racing and Monkey Swinger has slightly reduced as well. The only downside is that P4 currently has DRS to P3, so this is an extensive battle for P3, and it looks like Dave is going to go for an inside. It's going to be a very tight braking zone. He's going to get the braking done, and he's going to make the corner just about, and that is a beautiful overtake from Dave.
Yep, absolutely, but Joe's trying to hang it round the outside and go for him, but now this is allowing Botasgang to try and come up the inside. Oh, this is a very spicy turn 3. But Botasgang's just backed out. That wing damage is not allowing him to get through that turn as well as he would have liked, so he's backed out and just maintaining position in P7 just now.
Oh, a bit of a lock up there from Tiger Racing. Oh, he's rotated as a result, and it's going to be Marquez almost going into the side of him. Joe very quickly gets himself out of the way as quick as he can. Very smart awareness there from Joe. Just a bit of a mistake caused him to lose the rear of the car, but look at Dave now on the back of Monkey Swinger. This has really opened up for him. I said he was a contender for the top 3. I thought Chenjay would be as well. Monkey Swinger gets a little bit of a nudge there from Dave, but Dave has just slipped on through and already lines himself up for an attack on Lando's Milkman. He won't go for it here, despite the fact that he has DRS. He will in fact wait for the opportunity on the home straight. Although Landos is going very slow here. Is he going to go for it? This is going to be a hell of a send if he thinks about it, and he's had a little bit of a wobble there as a result. He's still fighting. Monkey Swinger gets a little bit of a nudge there. Botasgang's involved in the situation too. Dave's up to P3. Monkey Swinger gets a tap from Lando's Milkman and falls down to P6, but he is still here to fight.
Yep, absolutely. He doesn't look like he's got any damage, I don't think, so that's allowed him to stay in this fight. But it looks like Jeb might have made a mistake, and he dropped down to P12, but he's now just on the back of Hardy and just overtaken him there. So I think Hardy might have, I don't know if Hardy's let him through, but that's Jeb getting back up to P11, and Chenjay is now on his own sum and P9, trying to catch up to the back of Joe.
Lando's Milkman's here, ready to fire one on Botasgang now. This is another braking zone battle, I reckon, between them. I don't think he's... Oh, he's already got the move done. Never mind. I thought he was going to be matching the pace pretty early, but he's actually made that one go very quickly through, but he's got the exit all wrong. Botasgang gets the recovery. We'll take the outside line, though. This is where Landos can easily pull this right back. They are pretty much wheel to wheel, despite the fact you can't actually see him until now, and Botasgang will fall to P5, but that wing is clearly causing some issues for him. That one end plate that's missing is ending everything for him. Here he goes, right back on him though. He's actually still fired up. It's going to be a lovely little Trident 3-4 if they can hold it out, but there's still a DRS zone to go, and they are very close to each other, where Toe can very easily play a factor.
Yep, absolutely, and that's if I managed, I mean, a great recovery drive from effectively the last position for Botasgang, but he has certainly been suffering through the wing damage, and it's allowed a gap to kind of form between him and Forseti. But Forseti's managed to get back up to P3, so he's had a good recovery himself as well.
Lando's Milkman ready to go on Monkey Swinger here then. He has got the gap, but I don't think he's going to be able to go for that late of a send. It's going to be a hell of a late send. You could see him thinking about it, but it's not going to be now. Piloto Paya has 2 corners to go. He's done one of them. He's coming around the final right now, and he has done everything perfectly. He crosses the line to take the win, and that is a very simple maneuver done. Aviator will come to take P2 with Fossetti, although he does have a penalty, so he may drop. I don't think the others behind him have it, but it's a 1.5 second gap to his teammate. He will only lose 1 position if that is the case. Fossetti crosses the line P3. Will he fall to P4? Yes, he does. Oh, he actually falls even further. He's gone to P5 now. Landos Milman taking P6, Marquez taking P7, and I want to see who's got the fastest lap. It is, in fact, Piloto. He can do the perfect weekend.
Yes, indeed he can, and not only did he get the fastest lap, but he was 1.8 seconds faster than Aviator in second place. That's an incredible difference in lap time. Obviously some of that is also due to the tyre, but no one was anywhere near his time. No one even made it to 1:49, and he was on a 1:47.5. That is an unbelievable time to be putting in.
It really, really is. So, just waiting for Burrito Bandito to cross the line and Lapis to follow soon, and then we can get underway with the sprint race that's coming up right after this. Now, just a reminder, the top 8 are the ones that get flipped, reversed, and swapped around, and that will be Tiger Racing moving up towards P1 to start the sprint race. Marquez will be chasing him down in P2. Again, this is where it can get very hairy. As you're running up towards turn 2 at the end of the home straight, that's where all the braking zones are going to light up, and it's so easy to make mistakes there. It's so easy to want to send it even further in towards turn 2. You just got to make sure you calculate just right.
Yep, absolutely, and Joe's no stranger to finishing P8 in these races and then having to start from pole. He can quite the defensive drive from Joe, so looking forward to seeing what he can do in turn 2.
Well, that is your podium. Piloto Paya, as usual, it seems like, on the top step again. So far, is ready to go for the full perfect weekend, has got the 4 points from the one-shot qualifying, gets the fastest lap 2 points he's got from the feature race, and the 25 points that you get alongside that for finishing in first place. He will need to then recover now from P8 to P1 and secure a fastest lap in order to get the perfect weekend. We haven't seen it because it's almost impossible. However, Piloto taking P1, Aviator taking P2, Buttersgang taking 3rd, Monkey Swinger taking 4th, Fossetti in 5th, Landos in 6th, Marquez in 7th, Tiger Racing in 8th. That's the top 8 that's going to be flipped and reversed. Change A getting 9th, Tinamo getting the final point, with Jeb getting the Best of the Rest award, with Hardy F1 getting P12, Burrito getting 13th, Lapis came 14th. Roshko and Tiger Jr. were the ones who DNF'd or disqualified in Tiger Jr.'s case, as he was driving in the wrong direction. In terms of the weekend, though, it's a 31-point lead right now for Piloto. He has 31 points. He's not got the whole lead of 31 points. He's 13 points ahead of Aviator. Quick maths. Aviator can still do this, but he has got to do the similar sort of situation as what Piloto has, but he also has to secure a lot more points than what Piloto is going to do. He has to basically hit and hope that Piloto has a mare of a race, which did happen, if I remember correctly, last week. Jack was in the running to taking the weekend back if Piloto had a bad run. He had a bad run. It wasn't the greatest run at all, but he didn't have bad enough of a run to not still then go ahead and take the win. Again, it's another dry track. I want to hear your 1, 2, 3 prediction.
To be honest, I think Piloto's biggest challenge right now is going to be getting past the likes of Bottas gang. So I do think he'll get the podium. I think he'll probably get P3. But I think now that Bottas gang's up in the kind of the right end of the field, I think he might be able to get through the pack and get P1. As for P2, I think Falsetti was driving really well as last race, so I think it will probably be Falsetti and P2.
We will see how that fares off later. We currently have everyone ticked, but we are not yet loading in. I'm not sure what has happened. Hopefully it fixes itself in a uno momento. You can do it, Game. I believe in you. We'll give it another minute before we decide to rehost. But we will, if we do rehost, we will only be doing the sprint race as you would expect.
Yep, it's if anyone who was last in might be able to get out and then rejoin. That might kick it back into life potentially.
Are we going to do it? Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Looks like we're going to have to rehost. I'm just going to test something first before we do. Well, it's not him.
Nope.
Alright, yep, let's rehost. Alright, bear with us really quick, guys and girls. We'll be with you in just a moment. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen, for the delay. There was obviously a technical issue which caused us to need to restart the server. It has been done. We should have everybody back in and in the right positions. The weather has been reset to clear, and it has been set to 5 laps. We're just waiting for the drivers to choose their setups, make sure everything's set up ready for them to go into this race, and we will get underway with the sprint race here. Now, bear in mind it was 31 points between, 31 points in Piloto and 18 for P2. We will have to go to, unless Piloto has an absolute mare of a time, but I don't know the full points rundown, so we will have to bear with for that one, unfortunately. Sadly, it doesn't save that information anywhere, so I can't actually go back and get it without having to look at the stream VOD. I also forgot to set a formation lap, so there will not be one, which means we are going to get straight into this Grand Prix then here in Russia. Tiger Racing will get off very nicely away. Already, Lando's Millman's already firing one up the side as well. Fossetti involved in there too. Monkey Swing at P4. Bottas guy moving his way up to P5. This is already looking really good, but Tiger Racing got such a good start. He's currently in the lead and quite away, and there's a lot of jittering going along. A lot of twitchy drivers, and that's Marquez. Everybody's involved in this from like P8 onwards. Some people have managed to get around it. More carnage has happened. That's Bottas guy who's been involved in it too. And he has retired from the session. Monkey Swinger, it looks like he took a brunt of it too. He's made a mistake or something. He's fallen down the order.
I know more crashes behind. Looks like Tiger Jr. and Lapis might have came together. I think that was also maybe Burrito Bandito. Yeah, disasters everywhere for everyone. Tina Mo's retired from this race.
Wing damage for a fair few of them as well. This is not good news for them at all, but this is great news for Falsetti. Up to P3. He's actually just moved into P2. He's had to take a very wide line through there, and he's managed to get up there. He now is almost within that 1 second margin of Tiger Racing, who has just took off in this race.
Yep, and Chenji just spun out as well. I don't know if he's got damage, but I think he might have clipped. Piloto's now also spun. Maybe they hit two came together. It's not looking great if you're Piloto right now, but I'm sure he can pick himself back up through the pack and maybe get a couple of points. But yeah, his weekend's on the line.
It really is, although it would need Aviator to get the win in order for him to really secure this. Still a lot of points can be made here, but if Piloto gets himself back into the top 8 by any stretch of imagination, that is pretty much a done dealio. That penalty might affect him quite a fair bit there and stop him from getting those points. However, Lando's Millman on the back of Marquez made a mistake there through the third to last corner. As a result, he's got a bit of a gap now between him and P3.
Yep, and look at Jeb here up in P5. I think he's managed to keep his nose clean, and he's completely gained out of this. He's gained 6 positions, and he's trying to get up to the back of Lando's Milkman now, but he's managed to pull up a gap between him and his teammate, so he's free from the drivers behind, and now he can just attack those in front.
Aviator sliding up to Hardy's DMs, trying to make his way further up as he needs to do so in order to achieve greatness tonight. Maybe even the weekend, as he's gone for a big send here. Talk about greatness. It was almost a perfect overtake, except he went a bit too deep, but he has got himself back up into P6. That is it. Hardy that's still with him, though. He's not out of this by any stretch of the imagination. We do still have a little bit of contact, actually, between them. I think Avia was trying to back out because he looks like he's got wing damage by quite a margin. I don't think he's got any end plates, and that's causing him to have a lot of issues running through that corner, and as a result, Hardy is back up to P6. There's also a little battle as well between Roshko and Piloto, who's trying to work his way back up. He's currently now in P8, fighting and getting involved in this battle for P5. P6, even.
Yep. And it looks like Lapis is retired in the pit lane. It turns out that she tried to slow down for someone who she'd gained an illegal overtake and tried to give the position back, and that might have caused some issues. But yep, it looks like from now on, up the field, everyone is staying out. No one seems to be wanting to replace their wing, but there is a bit of damage on quite a lot of these cars.
And that will play havoc when it comes to the racing on this circuit. This is a circuit that does demand a fair amount of aerodynamics, and if you have any aero missing, then you will find it very difficult to maneuver, especially through turn 4. Bear in mind, that long left-hander is exactly that, very long and very fast, and you can't afford to lose any aero there, where a few of these, for example, Aviator, who has no end plates, will struggle in that area quite a margin, which is where Hardy almost got caught out. You know, he didn't know that Aviator had such a bad situation going on with his wing, and as a result, Aviator backed off, and then Hardy went straight into the back of him, but still managed to escape without any damage on his wing. But he has had a tank slapper and a half, and that is allowing Roshko and Chenji to get ready to send it past him and get themselves up into points positions. We might even be 3 wide wide going in towards turn 2. It's going to be Chenjay getting the inside line through 1. He's done on Hardy. Can he get his move done on Roshko as well? Does Roshko even know he's there? Well, it looks like he does, but Chenjay getting himself a penalty for cutting that corner just a bit too much. He wanted to avoid as much carnage as possible. He didn't actually have any contact with anybody, but as a result, he cuts the curve a bit too much. And again, Chenjay getting caught out by Avier's wing. Roshko's wing. Oh, that's contact between them. Hardy's gone. Hardy's off into the wall. I think that's got to be wing damage now. Sure. He still hasn't got any damage? How? His wing must be made of titanium.
Yeah, absolutely. He's managed to luck out a bit there, but it looks like now Falsetti's up on the back of Joe, coming into this long straight up the back. So he's got an opportunity here now to get the DRS open and try and get a move done.
Joe is having a great race so far, but it's about to be very difficult for the remainder of it. We do only have 2 laps after this one's finished. And Tiger Racing, sorry. He's going to be feeling the pressure right now, really is.
Yep, absolutely. But the one thing about Joe is he can position that car very well. You know, he's always in control of what he's trying to do. So all he needs to do now is try and get his exits sorted and make sure that Falsetti's going to take him into turn 2, definitely. He's too close. But if he can stay with him up for the back straight, then they can be swapping positions for the last couple of laps, trying to see who'll take this one.
Exactly, and it's interesting we've got these two fighting at it because they have such contrasting driving styles. You've got Tiger Racing, who is very, accurate, likes to make sure every time he gets on the throttle, he doesn't have to get off it, making sure when he goes on the brakes, he doesn't have to get off it until he has to actually get off it. As a result, Falsetti is through, but Falsetti has the very opposite style. He's very aggressive when he gets to his pedals. He likes to chuck it in as much as you can. You can see now, as a result, why that doesn't always work out. He just got a bit too happy on the accelerator and as a result lost his rear. Tiger Racing up now into P1, and Falsetti will have to fight again. He's got much better exit through there though, did Falsetti already. Back up into P1 again, but this battle I think is going to go on for the rest of this Grand Prix.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, the thing about overtaking there in that part of the track means that if you can't pull up a gap, you're going to get DRS on you for that long back straight, and that's just allowing them to keep nice and tight together. And right now, there's not much to choose between them.
But that penalty from Falsetti will mean that Joe just needs to stay within that range. I don't know whether or not he knows it yet, though. I mean, he might have an idea. He saw the way that Dave took that corner. And again, it does kind of play against him as Lando's Milkman is on the back of Marquez here. This is going to be a pretty simple overtake, I think, when we get the DRS wing wide open right about now.
Yep, and it looks like Joe's just staying on the back of Falsetti just now, so he'll just need to make sure he stays with him through the Sector 3. And this fight for P1 is not over.
It really isn't. Marquez has just been passed by Lando's as well, like I said, due to the DRS being available for Lando's and not for Marquez. However, he can still fight this. This is not over by any stretch. He's just cut that corner a fair bit. I thought he was going to get a penalty there. He probably got a warning for it. Lando's gets a good exit. Marquez having a bit of a wobble there, not quite getting as good a clean run out of that as he needed. Almost goes into the back of Lando's. This is about as close as you can get without actually being inside someone's car. He will have got a penalty there. He just cut that corner a bit too much. And 2-second time penalty has been applied.
Yep, absolutely, and Piloto is actually just trying to get on the back of this as well. He'll be getting the slipstream down here, but unfortunately he's just out the zone for getting DRS, but he should be able to catch up and maybe start fighting for a podium himself.
Lando's and Marquez still going at it, and it was a very close one, but we are on the final lap now, so bear in mind, Falsetti is leading, but he does have a penalty. And it's going to be Tiger Racing who just needs to stay within the 2 seconds of Falsetti, and he will secure his first ever F2 win. And he'll be very happy with himself, I can assure you that.
Yep, absolutely. He's led from the front from the start few laps, and then Falsetti was just a bit too quick for him. But, as you say, Falsetti's driving styles led him to get a penalty. Joe almost never receives penalties, so he's having a clean race just now, and he just needs to maintain the gap and he will win his first race.
Marquez closing in on Lando's Milkman. Piloto involved in this as well. He's got a much better exit here. He will surely get Marquez, but will he be able to get in range of Lando's Milkman by the time we reach the end of the straight? He might even not be able to even get past Marquez. Marquez must have 1-1 wings to be able to hold this back. I don't know how he's achieved that, but he's going for a send on Landos. There's contact, and that's caused him to destabilize. Piloto's trying to get around both of them on the outside. This is going to be a move and a half. If he can pull it off, he's done one. Can he get the second? It's going to have to be an outside line for the other. Marquez is still here, still fighting. No changes. Oh, Marquez and Piloto go wheel to wheel. We need to go back to the race leader because Falsetti's got another penalty and he crosses the line. And Tiger Racing will cross the line and take his first F2 win with Lando's Milman coming here in third. Marquez getting a penalty means he will likely drop down the order. Piloto has somehow rotated his car and he will cross the line in P5. Jeb finishes P4. Solid result from him. Aviator P6. Marquez P7. Chenje getting the final point position.
Yep, Jeb done fantastic there. There was a little bit of desync, I think, between Jeb and Piloto, and that's actually what caused Piloto to spin. Jeb had went through the back of him. Obviously, that didn't happen. Jeb's car never destabilised, never got any damaged, but just a little bit desync unfortunately caused Piloto to spin. But the coming together between with him and Marquez was what was allowed Jeb to just sneak on in there and take that fourth position.
What a final race that was in the F2 cars. Holy, Tiger Racing securing his first win in the F2 cars. He's going to be so happy with himself for that, and he deserves to be. There he is, getting his little trophy to go with his top step finish, and a little bit of a champagne spray out to go with it. Now, let's go have a look at the rundown at the end of that Grand Prix. I believe, because it is definitely. So Piloto will get the overall weekend win. Aviator will obviously finish in second. However, it is going to be Tiger Racing who will secure his win. Now, he won't get the full 25 points, obviously. It's just because I had to launch as a feature race, not a sprint race. He will get, I think it's 15 for finishing in P1. Falsetti gets P2. Lando's Milman getting P3. Jeb getting P4. Piloto P5. Aviator P6. Marquez P7. Chenje getting the final of the points position with Roshko getting best of the rest. Monkey Swinger P10. Hardy P11. Tiger Jr. P12. And then Burrito Bandito finishes in P13. Your DNFers were Heart of Lapis, Tinamo, and Bottas Gang. I think all of them happened on the first lap as well. But that's it for the F2 cars, so thank you everybody for joining us for that. But don't go anywhere because very shortly, and I mean literally very shortly, we're going to be getting underway with the F1 cars, and it's going to be a grand old race. Stay tuned.